Playoff odds. Yeah. Wow, we are sitting right now in a very bad situation. 16.3%. Now, here's the thing, right? We win this week versus the Panthers, we're going to jump up to probably like 20, 21, 22%. We beat the Ravens, we could jump up to around 30%. And then, we just keep doing good after that. We're going to go right back up this ladder. So, I'm not too worried about our playoff odds right now. Obviously, it's very low, but we will be fine moving forward. But starting off right away, the Buffalo Bills, 99.9% chance to make the playoffs. Yeah, they're looking, again, very, very good. And who's on their schedule? They're beating on whoever is on their schedule. I know there's been a lot of hate toward the Bills because they haven't beat like the best teams possible. But hey, listen, you play who's on your schedule and they're getting the job done. Kansas City, 94.9. I'm really surprised KC isn't just 100%. I mean, bro, let's be honest. We know they're making the playoffs. We know they're making the playoffs 100%. Not even a question. Even if, it's close, they're going to. Their division's a cakewalk. They are second best team in the NFL, how I feel. I still feel like the Bills right now are better than them. Pittsburgh Steelers, 82%. This number is going to drop so quickly. Oh my, I cannot speak today. So quickly once they get to the second half of their season. Once they get through that 8-game stretch, that gauntlet at the end of the season, this number is about to absolutely plummet. So just remember, right now, they're at 82%. Then they get to the tough part of their schedule, and they're going to absolutely plummet it. But they're still going to be above 500, so they're going to somehow find a way to go 8-9. Bet it on there, 8-9. Houston Texans, 77.9%. Yeah, they're, again, just kind of like us here. Starting off the season kind of slow, but they're still, one of the best teams in the NFL, not even a question. New York Jets are currently a 75.5%. They lost week 1, and then they won the last 2, and they'll probably continue going down the line. And by the way, to the Texans, why did I say they start the season off slow? They're 2-1, and they own the AFC South. Okay, well, that was a horrific take by me. Texans have not started off the season. They did lose last week to the Vikings, but they're still one of the best teams, if not, top 5 on that list. So I don't know why I just said that they saw the season slow. I think it's because recency bias. They got destroyed by the Vikings. So I guess my brain was like, yeah, this team's starting off slow. They're not. Ravens, 74.4%. Interesting. See, the thing is, right, just like us, I think the Ravens will eventually start getting it going again and, fix their, wrongdoings and fix their problems. But interesting. They are 1-2 as well, and then they're about to play the Bills. So it's very possible that we win this week, and we're 1-3, and the Ravens are also 1-3. I feel like the Ravens being 74.4% is biasy. I feel like that's a lot of biasy. Because I feel like that's the same thing when it comes down to our situation where it's like, they're very similar to us right now. They almost lost to the Cowboys, end up winning that game for their sake, thankfully for their sake. But if not for that, we would be in the same record. But we're kind of both struggling. So, very interesting. And they lost to the Raiders. We lost to the Patriots. And I feel like the Cowboys and the Commanders are very even. Not a lot of people like to admit that, but I feel like they're very even teams. I don't think they should be 74.4%. I think that's biasy. There's no way. Chargers, 68.4%. Okay. Brownies, 31.6%. Aren't the Browns 1-2 as well? They just lost to the Giants? How are these teams... okay, here's what I'll say, right? I don't think the Browns should be 31.6. I think the Browns should be like 23, 24%. I think the Ravens should be like 25%. I don't see how the Ravens are 74%. They beat the Cowboys, got the first win of the season, but they almost choked that away up by 20 points in the fourth quarter. Let's not put biasy in here. Let's put logic in here. Because if you want to do biasy, I don't think we're 16.3. If we're looking at the future and what their, Bengals can do, we have a very easy schedule moving forward. And I think we could easily, I would say probably a 85% chance to make the playoffs. But if we're just looking at what happened so far, okay, I'll give you 16.3. But I just feel like that's kind of a lot of biasy if you're talking about the Ravens being 74.4 and the Brownies being 31.6. Like, the Steelers, I'm not even going to argue because they're currently undefeated and they're looking absolutely amazing on defense. But, like, the Ravens have a lot of problems right now. Should not be 74%. Browns having problems right now. Should not be 31.6%. Unless you want to bump our percentage up, this doesn't add up. Like, okay. Anyway, Colts 17.6. Jaguars 21.5. And again, keep in mind, this is based on sports lines simulations. So for those who are going to probably comment and say, this is based on, like the ESPN, playoff metrics. It's not. This is based strictly on betting odds of sports books. That's what this is based on. So just keep that in mind that this is not based on like any actual like simulation that's like based on statistics. This is based on odds that are created by Vegas. Pretty much how this works. 13.2% for Miami. I think Tyler Huntley is starting for them this week. Denver Broncos, they're playing on Monday Night Football as well. Raiders 10.6%, Denver Broncos 8.9, 2.6 for Brian Callahan. Dang, bro. Brian's going through it. I'll give him all the prayers I can for going through it right now, man. Anyway, 4.9% for the Patriots. Okay. Again, like I said, I think there's a little bit of biasy here. I definitely feel like there's a little bit of biasy. They're looking at the fact that the Ravens are a good team, and I think we are a good team too. But they're also a good team, and I think they're kind of taking that in consideration on how they think this is going to go. And I don't think you really should do that. I don't think you should base it based on that. I think it should be based on everyone has a fair shot of what do we think is. How do we think, who we think will make the playoffs based on how good they're playing and also the schedule and all the factors together. So that's kind of how I look at it. Again, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. See you guys in the next one.